16 exceptional years. As Jews, the past 614 days have been characterized by waiting for our hostages to come home, waiting to see how events will unfold on college campuses, waiting for the war to be over. Even amidst the busyness of our daily lives, anticipation, questions, and fear remain. In Tehillim Yud Gimel, King David poetically articulates our struggles in a plea. Ad ana Adonai tishkacheni netzach. For how long, Hashem, will you ignore me forever? Ad ana tastir et panecha mimeni. For how long will you hide your face from me? Ad ana ashit etzot benafshi yagon bilvavi yomam. For how long will my soul ache with grief in my heart all day? Ad ana yarum oivei alai. For how long will my enemy have the upper hand? These 4 questions immediately struck me. How do we proceed when waiting becomes unbearable? Where do we go when our enemies surround us, both physically and emotionally? When God seems removed from the tragedies that occur to the Jewish people, how do we find relief? I cannot present a polished answer to these existential questions. I really wish I could. But I've learned that one remedy to this struggle is patience. Whereas waiting is, according to the Oxford Dictionary, the action of staying where one is until a particular time, patience is the capacity to accept delay, trouble, or suffering without getting upset. Waiting is inactive, whereas patience is an attitude that actively sustains us. While not explicitly a mitzvah, patience is a profoundly Jewish concept. I've been on the receiving end of a passionate sablanut more times than I'd like to admit. In a society that prioritizes short-term entertainment over positive visions for the future, patience is a value we have an opportunity to uphold. Thousands of years ago, in an arid desert, our ancestors journeyed from Egypt to Israel following redemption from slavery. In this week's Parsha, Beha'alotcha, the years spent in uncertainty culminate in a breaking point for Bnei Yisrael. The nation screams out to Moshe, Mi achilenu basar, if only we had meat to eat. Restless and frustrated, they recall the fruits and vegetables of their past, hovering in a limbo state. Out of Egypt enough to forget the pains of slavery, but not close enough to Israel to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Whereas in that story, the nation complains bitterly about a challenge. By contrast, they react differently to a perceived frustration in the following parak. Miriam, Moshe's sister and a stronghold of the nation, is struck with leprosy. As a punishment for speaking negatively against her brother, she remains isolated from the community for 7 days. The Torah specifically highlights V'ha'am lo nasa ad ha'esaf Miriam, that the nation did not travel until Miriam recovered. The growth Bnei Israel exhibit in this parsha is significant. Why should they delay their desert departure an extra week for the woman who insulted their leader? And yet, with strength and patience, they choose to carry themselves through these 7 days rather than complaining about a setback. Jewish history is marked with many challenges, and yet we continue forward, each one of us a testament to the strength and resilience of the Jewish people. Throughout the Poland trip 2 weeks ago with Kushner, my classmates and I felt this deeply. In a lush Polish forest, huddled with my peers, teachers, and tour guides, I noticed a couple on a walk. The pair chatted and trotted, unknowing of the history that lay beneath them. I saw disapproval spread across my friends' faces. I raised my eyebrows. We were standing by a mass grave, unmarked other than a humble monument and grains of sand beneath our feet. It is a uniquely Jewish skill to simultaneously struggle deeply, to experience all the horrors and tragedies the world has to offer, yet emerge triumphant. This paradoxical growth is a cornerstone of our character as a nation, and it is one that my classmates and I have internalized throughout our time at Kushner. In life, we experience many setbacks. It may be a 7-day setback like the Jews in the desert. It may be a 614-day setback as we've endured since October 7th. When we go through periods of struggle, we can carry ourselves with deliberate, active patience and look at countless examples in Jewish history to give us strength. We are at a turning point in Jewish history, and with divine partnership, we can chart our way forward. As Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said on this week's Parsha, most religions are about accepting the world the way it is. Judaism is a protest against the world that is in the name of the world that ought to be. We have choices. We can succumb to the world that is, falling prey to victimhood and weakness, or we can rise above, practice active patience, and plan for a better future. My bracha to my fellow graduates is that we live with the confidence to handle any challenge, the compassion to love all those we encounter, the patience to remain hopeful until all is revealed, and the commitment to lead lives as proud, honorable Jews.
Powerful and potent messages for a generation of young people who will be taking on the responsibility of advocating for and supporting the Jewish people. And we know, Serena, you are speaking for every member of the class of 2025 who will go with the same mojo and gumption, moxie and strength to bring the Jewish people to a place of resilience and a strong future, not from victimhood. We control our fate, but from strength and pride. Thank you very much, Serena. That was magnificent. And before we continue with the scheduled exercises, we need to thank and recognize the rabbis of our communities that complete the virtuous cycle of transmission of Torah and values and ensure that the messages and the meaning of Torah are transmitted both at home and in school and through the greater communities. And we thank rabbis that are here tonight, albeit in dual roles, but in roles that are both equally as important. Rabbi Klibanoff, thank you. Rabbi East, thank you. And Rabbi Rebbitzin Proops. We are very grateful that you are part of our community. Now, my dear friend Gary Berger says never mention people in the audience. And then I do it anyway. So please bear with me. If somebody should have been mentioned and they're not, tell me later and I will duly apologize. But I really want to make an exception and welcome and thank Mr. Steve Levy, the outgoing CEO of the Federation of Greater Metro West. Steve, please rise for a minute. A stalwart supporter of Jewish education, not obviously just the Joseph Kushner Hebrew Academy, Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School, but all of the J schools in Metro West, recognizing that the future of the Jewish people, as Don Senior said at the 92nd Street Y, is all about Jewish education and day school experience. So thank you so much, Steve. With that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a person who has devoted and dedicated his life to Jewish education to strengthen the foundations and the experiences of every Jewish child that comes in his orbit, the principal of RKYHS, Rabbi Maccabee Avi Shur.
Hey, class of 2025, graduates. Oh my gosh. You all look so beautiful inside and outside and all around. So happy. Hi, Abby. Okay. So mazel tov to all of you, obviously. And on your behalf, I hope you don't mind if I do what everyone else has already done and thank your parents, your teachers, your administrators, and the entire community for helping you achieve this milestone. Let's give them a round of applause. I want to share with you now what I wrote in your yearbooks in case you haven't had a chance to read it yet, which I suspect is most of you. So there are a few phrases found in our holy texts that have become touchstones for the Jewish people. Sometimes a few words taken from a longer sentence find their way into the Jewish vernacular and come to represent much more than their simple meaning. One such phrase appears in the Torah just prior to the fraught reunification of Yaakov with his estranged brother Esav, from a parsha you all learned together this year in Tanakh. As I'm sure you remember in the story, Yaakov sends messengers to Esav and instructs those messengers to tell his brother, Im Lavan Garti, literally, I lived with Lavan, our uncle. So Chazal interpreted this simple phrase in many ways, most well-known of which explains that Yaakov meant to imply, I lived, Garti, with Lavan, that crooked cheater, but I kept the 613 mitzvot and did not learn from his ways, of course, 613 being the gematria of Garti. You can do the math right now. In other words, despite having lived in a debased environment, Yaakov kept true to his values. As Rav Soloveitchik, one of my personal heroes, points out, Yaakov left his paternal home to live among those who did not share his moral code or vision. Similarly, his son Yosef faced the same challenge in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. Both these avot, our forefathers, had to demonstrate that the Torah's laws and mores are not contingent on one's location or station in life. The Torah is realizable in all places at all times. In all places at all times. Seniors, graduates, you are the Yaakovs and Yosefs of today. Within the walls of RKYHS, you gain the tools and experience to live a life of integration, a commitment to Torah alongside engagement with the world. You have been enriched, and now you will take that gift and enrich others. Your Jewish pride, your spirit, your humor, and your humility, which I spoke about at senior dinner, uplift us all. We know that you will take these lessons and bring them with you to each success that you achieve. We will miss you. I know I will personally miss you, and I feel, as all of us do, so blessed to know you and to call you our students. And we know that the things you will accomplish as you begin your adult journey will be nothing short of incredible. Mazel tov to you. It gives me great pleasure to welcome up to the stage your senior speaker for graduation, Tzvi Papier.
Ever since I found out I would be speaking, a lot of people came to me and asked me, how was I going to approach it? Originally, I went for something deep and metaphorical, and it was cool, but when I read it, I heard myself and realized that that wasn't really me, and that wasn't what people wanted to hear from me. For the last 4 years, we've been asking ourselves one essential question. What are we doing here? Why do we wake up so early every day just to get to school? What separates an incoming 9th grader from an outgoing 12th grader? What is it in those 4 years that is so important that the only place that can properly facilitate that is high school? So as I was writing this speech, that question came to me. I wondered, what has this been about? I'll be honest, this is not the version that I finished, so I do have to pull out my new official version. Because in very Tzvi style, I finished this morning. And I thought I was going to ad-lib it, but I got to pull it out. All right. All right. Freshman year, I almost walked away from the very thing that has defined my high school experience. For a moment, there would be no Sebastian and definitely no Shrek. Because as the show approached and I'd already been given the nickname Chad, I got COVID. And I might be one of the few people happy to get COVID because the relief I felt washed away all of the anxiety and stress I had built up towards performing. Instead, I had made it through easy. No fear, no stage fright, no embarrassment. Later, it was Rabbi Rubin who found me, and he told me how the show was great, but that he had missed me. And then, as the conversation began to conclude, he paused, smiled, and looked at me and said, "But we'll see you next year." Those 6 words stuck with me, because until then, I had come to the conclusion that maybe I'd leave it behind. His words stayed with me through the summer into the next year, but I was still unconvinced. Finally, it was Evie Katz who came to me and told me that they needed me for the show. So, out of the kindness of my heart, I showed up to the info meeting, and I walked away with a packet. I went home that night, and I started to begin my questionable Caribbean accent. And it wasn't questionable because it was bad, but because it was just a little too good, which I owe all to my brother Josh, so thank you. As I would later learn in my junior year psych class, it was the foot in the door technique of going to the info meeting that got me. And I'm very thankful that it did. Until then, I had fallen victim to the blissful feeling of avoiding the challenges. And as I walked away from it, I felt safe. But deep down, I knew I had let myself down. So, a few months later, I waddled across the stage, arms held high at 90-degree angles, and together with an amazing ensemble, showed the school that the show could be amazing. And that's what I've learned. Sometimes you have to walk straight into the thing you are trying to avoid. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from showing up when you'd rather avoid it altogether, from saying yes when everything in your body and mind is saying no, and stepping out on stage even when you're struggling to remember your lines. We've gone from awkward freshmen to overconfident seniors, and now we stand on the precipice of the rest of our lives. We realize that most of us probably shouldn't be here, especially considering our poor attendance, which, to the dismay of our teachers, began in junior year. I definitely shouldn't be here, for those same reasons. But here we are. Crabs like Sebastian have to shed their shells to grow. The process is called molting, and it's uncomfortable and even painful, but it's necessary. It's the only way they don't stay in a shell too small. I think we're similar in the way that we grow by letting go of old versions of ourselves, even if it hurts a little, like now. I used to think growth meant having fewer flaws, that the goal was to be a perfectly polished senior. But here I am. I still get scared before walking on stage, and if I'll be honest, I was a bit scared before coming up here to speak now. And I definitely still talk too much. But now I know that growth isn't about being flawless. The truth is that sometimes you'll find yourself in a superheated conversation on the grade chat. And sometimes in 4 years, you'll manage to only win 1 championship, and it might be for soccer. But despite all this, you keep moving forward. You keep telling yourself the school has a chance at winning, and you find a solution. You improvise because the show must go on. Each of us have walked our own paths to this moment, some clear-cut and straight, others winding with unpredictable falls, and some with setbacks no one else could see. But somehow, we've all made it to right here, sharing these final moments together. And soon, we'll step out of this transformative moment and into the next, whether it be college, Israel, the IDF, the workforce, some of us professional poker players, or something you haven't even named yet. It might seem a bit paradoxical. How is it Tzvi, the same guy who sleeps through his alarms all the time, is the one telling you to show up? Well, it took messing up to know that you need to show up, especially when it's difficult, because the opportunities are always there in front of you. But it's up to us to be there and seize them. So show up, whether imperfect, unsure, or tired and undercaffeinated. So even if you slept through all 7 of your alarms that morning, which I've done a lot, you show up. So what have these 4 years been about? What's changed? We were given a blank canvas, an area to splatter our mistakes across the board, and now as we stand here, we're not going to be looking at just a piece of paper that is our diploma, that says, congrats, you passed all the right tests. We're looking at our unique painting and we're seeing everything we've done, right and wrong. So here's to the mornings we almost missed and to the ones I did, to the risks we didn't feel ready for, and to the people we became because we pushed ourselves outside of our comfort zones. To my fellow classmates of 2025, the difference between us now and freshman year is immense. We've grown from doing things right and equally wrong. We might know where we're headed, but we have no idea where it will take us. So now more than ever, as we look around at the people who have gotten us here, we're reminded how much we owe to them, To the family, the friends, the faculty, and the peers, thank you. We showed up because you did. And to my fellow graduates, thank you. It's here I would normally say good luck, but I don't think I need to. Instead, congratulations, we did it, a feat many of our teachers questioned the possibility of. We may never become flawless or perfect, but that's a good thing. As long as we stand for what we believe in, we continue to push ourselves to be better, and no matter how many times we fail, we continue to show up, learn, and grow. We'll have done it right. And we'll do that again and again until we succeed. In that, I have no doubt. So let's not be sad we're leaving. Let's not be worried about the unknowns. Let's be happy and proud we've been prepared for the opportunities, good and bad, the world will throw our way. That whether we fail or succeed, we find growth in every moment. So as we move forward, let's be ready and enjoy it, because the more I find myself at moments like today's graduation, which might only be twice, I realize before you know it, it'll be over in the blink of an eye. And if I ever get a new phone, give me a call.
Svi, thank you for showing up. Chad, you were amazing. What a lesson, and Evie gets the assist. And it's important to note that those who helped you show up every day, or at least the days that most of you did show up, besides your parents, was our amazing faculty, and they deserve our thanks for making sure that you all showed up. There was an audible sound of relief when you said, I didn't make every day of school. The faculty appreciated that nod. This was a really beautiful speech, and we're very grateful to you. As Woody Allen said, 90% of life is showing up. And all of you boys and girls, you have a life ahead of you to show up in many different places, and we're counting on you. And speaking of showing up, we are now excited to invite our graduates to the stage by name so they can show up for the receiving their diplomas from the school administration and leadership. So our wonderful music people, you tell us when we're ready. Row 1, please rise.
Sophie Baum. Moria Ben Shabbat. Mika Benzaken. Danielle Berman. Please rise for the start. I'm joking. We got to switch the music over there, DJ. This is what happens when Gabe is not running the audio for tonight. Molly Cohn. Sorry, Mia Bloomberg. We're humming. Da, 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 da. Molly Cohn. Mia Jabali. Ayala East. Emma Ehrlich. Nicole Lizarov. Michal Fink. Atara Friedman. Eden Fussman. Happy birthday. Serena Hinden. Elisheva Eisler. Itana Israelova. Evie Katz. Yoshi Klibanov. Abby Kopel. Musia Krinsky. Kayla Maltz. Julia Mordecai. Elke Mordkovich. Talia Nativ. Eliana Rosenberg. Naomi Rosenbluth.
Row number 1, please be seated. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for row number 1. Row number 2, please stand.
Sarah Rothman. Rue Samuel. Adina Savitz. Michal Shapiro. Marinella Silver. Erin Spiegelman. Eden Rose Suleimanov. Talia Schmigelski. Can we have Gabe just go fix that? Because it's really Emily Tenenberg. Maira Waldstreicher. Julia Weotter. Dahlia Wolkoff. Kira Zeif. Esther Jacques.
Gavi Becker. Sammy Bernstein. Gabe Besterman. Avi Cohn. Adam Darrick. Yoni Drazen. Kobe Eisenberg. Ophir Philhart. David Flankbaum. Judah Goldman. Gavi Greenspan. Elon Gutkin. Happy birthday.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for row 2. You may be seated. And now, row 3, please stand.
Eitan Hammerman. Jonah Halprin. Ayal Hirsch. Shlomo Kesselman. Jonah Klein. Shai Colden. Aiden Korish. Matt Krupnik. James Langman. Amiel Levy. Ben Leeds. Kalman Litvinchuk. Yossi Malka. Ezra Maltz. Joseph Margolin. Ari Monk. James Orbach. Svi Papier. Joey Plotzker. Thank you. David Ruben. Misha Rosenberg. Simon Rosenfeld. Andrew Rutner. Jeremy Siegel. Aaron Septimus. Noah Sinreich.
Okay, so this is where it gets more exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for row 3. You may be seated only. Thank you. Graduates, alumni, almost. As you are seated, please put your tassels on the right side of your hat. Graduates, almost alumni, please stand. Please stand. We can do two things at once. Here it is. Graduates, class of 2025, our newest alumni of JKHA, RKYHS. Please move your tassels from right to left. Congratulations, you have now officially graduated. Graduates, do not sit down. I'd like you please to face your faculty on either side and give them a round of applause and thank them for their diligence, their care, their devotion, their investment in your present and future to make you who you are today. Graduates, please do not sit down. Please turn around and face your parents and your grandparents and your family and thank them for their sacrifice and commitment to both you and Torah values by sending you to the premier yeshiva high school so you can have an education that will go with you for the rest of your lives. Thank you, parents and grandparents. Now, graduates, you may sit down. We're still not done. This is an unusually large grade of parents who are graduating their last child from RKYHS. For me, it is very sad. For you, you probably have mixed emotions. We ask now that every Mazinka family, which means this is your last child to leave our house, please rise so we can recognize you and thank you for your years of devotion. This is extraordinary. Over 25 families are graduating their last child. You are way too happy. We invite every year to the commencement exercises a graduate 10 years prior who has the perspective, the maturity, the depth, and the scope to look back at the 10 years of journey since high school, to share some of his or sometimes her insights and values and lessons that may guide you for the next 10 years. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Shep Gersberg, who graduated from RKYHS in 2015, followed by a gap year of study in Shivat Torah Shraga. He attended George Washington University in DC, received a degree in International Affairs at the Elliott School of International Affairs. After graduating from GW, Shep went to law school at the Benjamin Cardozo School of Law. After graduating from law school in 2023, Shep spent a year clerking for Judge Dina M. Vicari of the Ocean County Superior Court. After completing his clerkship, Shep was hired as an assistant county prosecutor for Essex County, where he currently works in the appellate unit handling criminal appeals. Shep is married and lives in Teaneck. I want to add something which is not in his bio. In his senior year, Shep said to me that he wanted to take APs that we didn't offer. I said, sure. He took 8 AP classes in his senior year, self-studied, and I don't want to embarrass him, but he did pretty well. So I can tell you that the prosecutor's office in Essex County is very lucky to have you. Shep.
Quite an introduction. All right, sun's right in my eyes. Good evening, and congratulations, graduates. Congratulations, class of 2025. Give yourselves a round of applause. Welcome to the community of alumni of RKYHS. So I was initially told that I have about 7 to 10 minutes to give this speech, but when I was here the first time around, I got extra time on all my exams. I think since I'm back on campus, that should count again. But thankfully, I never used all my time, so we should be good there. You know, as I thought about what to share with you tonight, what words of wisdom I could deliver, as you leave this stage of your life and you head on to the next, one question kept echoing in my mind. Who are you? I mean that literally in the sense that I don't know who any of you are. But more figuratively, who are you after you graduate? What's your identity? School is not forever. I know you can cheer for that concept. School is not forever. It does, in fact, end. Don't worry, parents. I'm not about to tell your kids that school and grades don't matter. I can see you eyeing the stage already, and I'd rather not have a riot. But school is not forever. And one day, whether it's now, 4 years, however long it is, you will end up taking your final exam, the music will stop, and there will be not a single class left for you to attend. And when that day comes, who are you? If all you have when you exit school is a transcript, then what's left of you? If the only thing you got out of all these years are report cards and class credits, who are you when they go away? And they will go away. When I think back on my own time at Kushner, yeah, I remember the classes, those I didn't sleep through, But more than that, I remember the chances I had to build the person that I've become. Today I'm in Essex County and I'm an assistant prosecutor. And I love what I do. Genuinely, truly, I love what I do. I get to serve my community, argue for what I believe in, and engage in meaningful intellectual work. That identity, that passion, it didn't just appear one day. It didn't just suddenly pop into existence when I finished college or law school. It started here at Kushner. Through activities like mock trial, Model UN, I started a debate hug. I discovered that I love public service, that I love standing up for things. I love talking, which is probably why I said yes to doing this. I kept following those passions in college. I never stopped asking the question, what makes me me? How can I find what makes me smile getting up in the morning? That mindset helped me find purpose and joy after school. And that, I think, is what this is all about, what high school is all about, what college is all about, what life is all about. The ultimate value of identity is that so often, with it comes purpose, comes direction, and comes life. So now, as you think back on the extracurriculars that you participated in during your time at Kushner, and you think about what you might participate in during the next stage of your life, it's so easy to think about those as just things to stick on your resume so that an employer in the future will think of you as well-rounded. But that's not all they are. They're how you start shaping the person that you want to be. So this is my advice to you, as someone who's sat in your shoes and kept going. Remember that you are more than your grades. School is more than a series of report cards. And trust me, that is important as someone who, let's just say, did not get straight A's in Kushner. Your time at Kushner and all that comes after is really about one thing: building the person that you want to be when it all ends. So graduates, who are you? Always ask yourself that. Let that be your North Star as you move forward in life. Who am I? What can I do to make me, me? Figure out what lights you up. What's going to motivate you to get out of the bed in the morning and smile? Find a passion. It doesn't have to be a career path. It doesn't have to be your job. It doesn't have to be what you end up doing from 9 to 5. But find something. Find something that feels true to you. Some of the things you try won't work, but that's part of the process of discovery. Just try. Try new things. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy, but do something. Be proactive in building who you are and building yourself. George Bernard Shaw once said that life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. Because again, one day, the music will stop. You will have your last class, you'll have your last grade, your last report card, and you'll be out in the real world. And trust me, as your parents can attest, as someone who's in the real world, when you're in the real world, you have less time, less space, and less freedom to explore who you are. Now is your time to build who you will be in life. Don't wait. So here's my bracha to all of you. And you can tell that when you get to the here's my bracha for all of you, it's almost over. Don't worry. You use this next chapter, whatever it is for you, to figure out who you are and who you want to become. When you move forward to the next stage of your life, and when you think back on the stage you're completing today, recognize the passions that you develop, the things that you learned that you love to do, the things that you learned are part of the core of who you are, the activities you did, the things that you discovered about yourself here on this campus and in the future. Recognize them as the building blocks that make up the monument of glorious self that you construct as you live your life day by day. If you can do that, every moment will be a moment lived well. Congratulations again, graduates. Mazel tov, and have an amazing night.
We are privileged tonight to hear from JKHA RKYHS co-president Sandy Steiner, representing the board The mission of the school, the community, the investment of decades of care and concern for previous generations that brought us to this generation, Sandy and Jeremy, and soon to be Andrew, lead with vision. They deliberate with balance, and they infuse every aspect of school governance with wisdom. We are very grateful for Sandy for all of her time, self-sacrifice, to make sure that we are the strength of the community and we continue to be the inspiration for generations of children now and in the years to come. Sandy.
Rabbis, esteemed faculty, dedicated staff, proud parents, family members, guests, and of course, our amazing graduates of the class of 2025. Good evening. My name is Sandy Steiner, and I'm proud to serve alongside the incredible Jeremy Halpern as co-president of the Board of Trustees of JKHA RKYHS. Tonight is a moment of celebration, reflection, and anticipation, a moment that marks the culmination of years of hard work, growth, and achievement. But more than that, today is about recognizing what you, our graduates, have accomplished. Graduating from Kushner means much more than completing schoolwork and earning grades. It means stepping out into the world, shaped by a truly special combination of Torah values, intellectual curiosity, personal growth, and commitment to community. The RKYHS graduate leaves here grounded in values, guided by purpose, and ready to lead with integrity. And that is thanks to the dedication of so many. At this milestone moment, we extend our deepest appreciation to our exceptional faculty and staff at the Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School. You have taught our students so much more than academic subjects. You have helped shape their character, teaching responsibility, integrity, compassion, and the importance of perspective. You have modeled for them what it means to lead with both intellect and heart. I would also like to recognize our outstanding coaches, club leaders, and co-curricular mentors. You have provided opportunities for our students to explore their passions, build confidence, and understand the value of teamwork and perseverance. Through wins, losses, debates, publications, artwork, and performances, you've helped them become well-rounded individuals. Thank you for instilling in our students the values of collaboration, resilience, and leadership. These too are emblematic of the RKYHS graduate. And to our administration, you have fostered a culture rooted in excellence that is both ambitious and nurturing, one that encourages critical thinking and mutual respect alongside a strong religious identity and a deep love for Israel. You teach our RKYHS students to lead, not just in classrooms, but in life. Thank you for guiding this institution with strength and vision. And now to you, our graduates. You stand at the threshold of a new beginning, shaped by the experiences, challenges, and relationships that you've built here at Kushner. You are going out into the world not only with knowledge, but with Jewish pride, moral clarity, and a deep sense of community. And while you're moving on, your journey of learning, growth, and impact is only just beginning. You've been taught to ask big questions and to seek meaningful answers. You've been shown what it means to live a life of purpose and responsibility to your families, your communities, and all of Am Yisrael. The world is complex, but you are equipped with the tools to meet it with courage, conviction, and character. That is the true hallmark of a Kushner education. As you take your next steps, carry these values with you. And always remember, Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School is and always will be your home. Come back to visit, to share, to inspire. We will always be proud to call you a part of our community, and we will be here to cheer you on and welcome you back with open arms. Class of 2025, you embody everything we hope for in an RKYHS graduate, and we could not be prouder. Mazel tov, and may your journey ahead be filled with success, meaning, and many blessings. Thank you.
I like that courage, conviction, and character. Take that with you. Before I get to my concluding remarks, I want to share just a little bit of the journey that parents you are not aware of. We host the seniors for a senior dinner And we do that yearly. It's part of our graduation ritual. And we are able to gift them certain go-bag items. A JKHA or RKYHS alumni travel drug bag, that's the wrong word, just bear with me, toiletries. It escaped me for a moment. But in order to correct my mistake, we also equip them with a beautiful Koran Siddur, which is inscribed the name of the school, so they can take it with them wherever they go. We thank KPAC for the Siddur and the Alumni Association for your toiletry bag. We also, if you haven't seen it on Instagram, we usually have the most enjoyable aspect, I think, of the ritual for us is having our students have a clap through and watching the nursery 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds and all the way through the middle school look up to our seniors and say, one day I want to grow up and be just like you. And our hope is, boys and girls of 2025, we hope they will be just like you. And many of our students also recognize and thank their students from the Early Childhood Center, and they are lifers in our school. And whether you hear from JKHA from the beginning or you have joined us later, you're always going to be lifelong partners with our very holy endeavor. I'd like to thank and recognize Rabbi Zwickler for being here tonight and joining us in these important experience exercise, who is part of your life journey in your communities. And we thank all the rabbis again for their contributions and for their support and their partnership in ensuring the strength, the vibrancy, vitality of the Jewish people. Our yearbook was dedicated to alumni chayalim, and we will speak about that just in a few moments. And now with my closing remarks. Rav Kook observed that the first bracha in Shmona Esrei is anomalous. It ends with the words Magen Avraham. He questions that it should end with any number of our great models of Jewish history who could also be held up as beacons of strength and courage under difficult circumstances. Why do we end that bracha with Abraham and not any other of our biblical heroes? We need to go back a little bit further to understand where Abraham is chosen to represent the beginning of Shmona Esrei. Abraham is known as Ger v'toshav anochi imachem. When he is deliberating and negotiating with Bnei Chet, he purposely and deliberately called himself a stranger and a resident in our land. He understood that he is a universal person, an Av Hamon Gayim, but he also knew that he was a covenantal Jew. V'hakimoti beini bencha lezaracha ad olam. He was never ashamed or embarrassed about his covenantal particular relationship with his people in the future, and he always took every opportunity to engage the universalism of the world. He fought for justice and confronted evil. He was promised the land of Israel, and he relentlessly pursued it. Graduates, Avraham represents a Birkat Avraham, the paradigm of a Jew who lives in a world that's challenging, but one that he could add to and contribute and change through goodness and righteousness. You will be the righteous Abrahams and Sarahs in the years to come. You will seek out opportunities, you will engage ideas, and you will proudly integrate yourselves in every community. But you will remain loyal to the precepts and the values of Torah and Judaism. You will be covenantal while you integrate and you are universal. You will advocate and protect and stand for your people in all circumstances with the strengths and the skills and the fortitude that you are blessed with. I bless you, our children, with Birkat Avraham, that you remain proud, steadfast, steady, strong Jews who will carry the message of Abraham, who will fight the evils of Sodom while protecting his family, will call out for injustice while promising the future of the Jewish people. As Shep said, Whether you engage here in America in the civic system to protect our democracy, which will ultimately protect the Jewish people, or you move to the land of Israel and you fortify the land and its people through your contributions, you are carrying the bracha of Avraham Avinu, and we are very proud of you. Congratulations. A ritual of our commencement exercises is always to invite to our stage our graduates who are intending to dedicate themselves to the ultimate commitment to protecting the Jewish people, those graduates who are committing themselves to join the IDF. So before we begin Hatikva, I invite Atara, Ayala, and Svi to please join me on the stage. May God protect them in their future years and our chayalim who are right now fighting the evil, pernicious forces of barbarian terrorists in Gaza and around the world. Please rise for Hatikva. Not the Star Spangled Banner. Not yet. Please remain standing until the recessional music is played and our graduates will exit first and join us for a collation in the Gottlieb Family Pavilion. And now we are ready for the recessional music. Now we are ready for the recessional music. Row number one, go.
השם הוא אבא טוב והוא תמיד מתפאר בי, רואה בי רק את הנקודות הטובות. רואה שאני רוצה להיות טוב רק לא יוצא לי, חסרות לי כולה גם התפילות. והשם הוא גם ראה את הרצון שהיה לי, כשניסיתי לו אמרתי נואשתי. רואה בביזיון שלי, במר שהרגשתי, איך התחלתי שוב כל יום מחדש. והשם יתברך, תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. השם יתברך, תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. ויהיה לי עוד יותר טוב ועוד 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 יותר טוב ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. שומע מרחם עליי ותמיד עונה לי, ואם עדיין לא ממשיך לחכות, מלא אותי בזה שאתה תמיד אוהבתי, תיתן לי כל יום מחדש מתנות, ותנהיג אותי ברחמים כאלו כמו שבעולם הזה נקרא רחמים, שיראו כולם שכן אתה שומע תפילות, ונחייך נהיה בריאים ונשיר, שהשם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, ויהיה לי עוד יותר טוב ועוד 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 יותר טוב.
Please join your children in the Gottlieb Pavilion for the collation.
תהיה לי עשירות ורווקים ורווקות, תהיה להם סיווג, תהיה גם רפואה שלמה ובריאות איתנה, חיים יפים מאושרים שנה אחרי שנה. השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד